Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Monday, the 29th of September, 2025, about 6:10 p.m. Central Time. So let's take a look at a few things. Tomorrow you're going to get Redbook's weekly retail sales numbers at 7:55. They've been running about 6% each week. Case-Shiller 20 metro home prices for July, not August, not September, July. So that's a different set way back when, but we'll see what they come out at. The September Chicago PMI is going to come out at 845. The Conference Board's U.S. Consumer Confidence Index, well, that'll be coming out Tuesday morning at 9. And remember, we just had another set of numbers from them, which were slightly lower. Then the all-important JOLTS number, the Job Opening and Labor Turnover Survey. That'll come out at 9 o'clock. The last report came out at 7.181 million jobs being offered. Will there be more? Will there be less? The market going to look at that as a sign. Is the labor market weakening or still strong? For the grain traders, we'll get the September 2025 small grain production number. That's at 11. President Trump this afternoon gave Hamas, as he was standing next to Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel, an ultimatum. They have 72 hours to accept the current peace plan, or Israel will go in and annihilate them. Okay, and the U.S. will not stop it. We haven't stopped anything anyways, basically, but that gives it. And if you were listening to the conference, Netanyahu made it very clear, arms have to be turned in. So you have to disarm Hamas. If I heard him right, and I think I did, neither the PLO nor, and I was surprised at that one, nor Hamas will be in the new government that is formed. I was surprised that the PLO wouldn't be. And get ready for the U.S. government shutdown, which I think will happen around at 12 midnight. Not tonight. That'll be Tuesday going into Wednesday, because they are just so far apart. There's no reality for what the Democrats want. They make it sound like they just want to help you and me with getting on with keeping our premiums for our Medicare cheap. Unfortunately, and lower, maybe is a better word, they also want to get $1 billion for immigrants that want to be on it. No. That isn't going to fly in this administration. All right, that part won't do it. If anything, remember, illegal immigrants are being sent out. Maybe I don't understand everything that they want to do and how they want to do it, so I'll let it go with that. I don't want to play politics here, but they're so far apart, you probably got to get into a cooling off period where each side, Democrat and Republican, feel pressure from us, the people, finally saying, let's get something done here. We can't have everything shut down. I mention all this because it's liable to affect Friday's jobs report. It's liable to affect all the reports coming out Thursday, Friday, maybe even Wednesdays. We will see how this all works out. So keep your eye on all that. All right. Another day, another set of an up market in the stock indices. They're again higher tonight. Gold did set a new all-time high today. Silver's breaking away a little bit from it. You can see that going on here. Copper and platinum still up, but not running. Now, the dollar today was down 24 points, but a lot of the currencies are slightly lower to unchanged tonight, so everything's probably going to sit where it's at. On the energy markets, the word is that OPEC wants to increase production at the October meeting that is coming up. And when they do that, maybe another 150,000 barrels a day. But if you read the reports show that with all the increases they've given, that OPEC as a group, I'm not saying any one country, as a group, they're about 50 to 75% hitting production of the allocation. So what's the point of keep raising the allocation if you're not hitting it? That becomes an interesting question. And bonds and notes just going somewhat steady. Now, as we take a look at the S&P weekly chart, you can see you're at an all-time high close if you were to finish right here. When we go to the daily chart, that's not the case. You peaked out, you've dropped back, and now you're sort of just sitting in the middle of that at this point. You still have the bullish pattern with higher lows and potentially higher highs. We'll see if that fits in, or if this high now is going to end up being a lower high than that one. The resistance, the upper Bollinger Band, and it's starting now to change its nature. You can see here how the band was just going up. suddenly it's rounding down. That's often a prelude to a market that wants to stall out a bit and could come down just a little bit right here. You had lost the bullish embedded reading. You got it back in the marketplace, or did you? Well, let's take a look and see what you've got. When you take a look at this on the chart, you can see on the S&P right here, it's still lost. As long as it's lost to me, the market's got a problem. In the NASDAQ, you lost your bullish embedded reading. When you lose that, often prices stall out and more times than not try to get back to the 18-day average to figure out what to do. That happened back here in the Dow, and you could see it rallied, broke right down to that 18-day average and held it. And in the Russell, the same thing happened from back here when you lost the reading. So we'll see just how this all works out. What we did not get, and it's very important to state this, unless you get a crash tomorrow, which I don't expect, you didn't get that weakness the last 2 weeks of September in stock indices. You did not get a weak August. You did not get a weak September. If anything, we were setting records. Now, you enter the strongest quarter of the year coming up right now. Is everything going to get turned around, or is this just going to go right through the weak period and get even stronger? That's the question you have to ask yourself. When we look at the DAX, the market got down to the Bollinger Band one time, came roaring back on Friday and today, which I would expect. Whenever you get to the Bollinger Band the first time, it's not unusual you get thrown back in a very short order. In the notes, you're oversold on a downtrend still. 5-year notes, same thing. So this whole time frame since the 17th when the Fed met, from that day you peaked out in terms of dropping yield, and the yield has climbed back up in just about all categories of the curve yield. That's important. In other words, the real market is saying, nah, interest rates, that was it. We're not dropping at this point. In the dollar index, we've had a heck of a rally on Thursday and Friday, and today we sold off along with Friday. You can see the peak on Thursday and then setting back. You're overbought. Support should come in, I would think, at 97.23.5 if the market falls there. I wouldn't want to see it under 96.83.5. Barring that, I think the market looks bullish. I look for the euro to have resistance up at the 18-day average, right where it's at the 118.11 area. I look for the Swissy to have resistance up here, but these markets are a bit oversold right now. Oversold doesn't attract, in my teachings, a lot of new money coming in. If embedding's one thing, being oversold's very different. Look at how you got a big correction today going on in Bitcoin. Now, I'll give you an idea if I can get this to come over. There we go. Bitcoin today was up $5,460 a coin. That's a monstrous gain in the marketplace. And it's holding it tonight. Hasn't begun to give it back. I think you can define the trading range now as your upper Bollinger Band to your lower, and the neutral zones, the 18-day average of closes. I don't know that it's trending right here. In the energy markets, they're trying to fall back. We'll see what happens. By the way, this is November Brent. I should have moved this to December. Let's just go to the November WTI because that is wrong. And you are down to the support area right here. So you've got higher lows, higher highs. I just forgot to do that one. I'm sorry about it. When we look at the November heating oil, look what you've done. You've come back to the support. Unfortunately, if you're a buyer, which the work on the chart is bullish. So that's the buy number. I hate that you've got to risk all the way down here about 8 to 10 cents. That's too much dollar risk in my opinion. When we come to the natural gas, you can see how the market came roaring up, fighting a battle right now at the 18-day average and trying to be more or less on the friendly side of the market. And in nat gas, I get it. This market fought a battle at the bottom here. It should lift up a little bit. We'll see what happens. And that's going to be an interesting story for us to all be looking at. Now, another thing that I've been doing, I've been giving traders in my written research trade ideas, really pouring into them recently. And if you want to see them, all you got to do is join my research team. And how do you do that? You join in by going to iraepstein.com. Under the words, you'll see the research. Go in there, and that's where you can get this. I put out 2 reports a day, Monday through Thursday, a Friday morning report and a Sunday evening report. Gives you specific recommendations, what I think's going on, tidbits about the trade that I see, things of that nature. It's a lot of information. It's meant to be read in about 2 minutes. A lot of bullet points, a lot of pointing out what I think is going on in highlights, be it what the president said with Netanyahu today, be it over the weekend I wrote about the sanctions that were going to hit Iran. So you get it all really nice and condensed. You don't have to read, if you will, a short report that's basically a thesis some of these market letters put out. I don't think people read them. In any case, go to iraepstein.com, the research. You can move your clicker up here, your icon, your mouse, if you will, and move it right over here. You'll see a circle. Give that a click, and away you go. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great evening. I'll catch up with you all in the other videos tonight and first thing in the morning flash update. Take care.